Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. In today's video, you'll hear about a very touching story about a young boy who lost both his parents. But before that, please click the bell icon and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on any amazing videos in the future. A kid named Easton suddenly lost both his parents at such a young age. As a consequence, his sister was left with no choice but to take full custody of the boy in order to fulfill their father's dying wish. Molly Schultz, a 25-year-old native of Spokane, Washington, was living a normal life. She is married to the love of her life, Tim. They didn't have any idea their life was about to change completely. In March 2016, Molly's father and her stepmother died only 12 days apart of each other. Molly loves her father so much and she was very close to him. Despite the distance, they communicated constantly. Then one day, Molly suddenly decided to visit her father. Taking with her twins, she booked a flight and traveled to Detroit, leaving her husband to take care for the other girls. Molly knew it was going to be a challenging journey from Spokane to Detroit, and she was right. She was met with a lot of hardships along the way, but she managed to reach Detroit nonetheless. When she finally saw her father at his home, Molly was heartbroken. Her father was very sick. Molly was not used to seeing her father so fragile and so weak. She recalled her father used to lift her up in the air and spin her around. He was very strong. Her father was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. According to the doctors, he had not much time left. Molly, after learning about the illness, knew that the days ahead would be emotionally hard for her. She wanted to maximize time with her dad. In one of their conversations, Molly leaned on her father's chest, as if to listen to his heartbeat. She felt odd. It was not the same sturdy chest her father used to have. Molly noticed one thing more. She felt her father wanted to tell her something important, but he was struggling to find the words. Before he could get to the main point, he shared some interesting stories about her half-brother Easton. Born in 2013, her father described Easton as a happy and healthy kid. Being raised apart from each other, Molly barely knew anything about her younger brother. She only met him once and they were both very young then. After some time, her father managed to say his final wish. Because her father could not bear to send Easton to an adoption system or to an orphanage, he wanted Molly to adopt Easton. Without any doubt, Molly agreed right away to take full custody of the boy. However, things weren't as easy as they seemed. The process of custody was very tedious, but Molly decided she had to act soon as her father was dying. She wanted her father to be there to witness the whole adoption process, but things were beyond her control. Her father passed away without seeing Easton getting officially adopted by Molly. Tim followed Molly to Detroit to sympathize with the grieving Molly and Easton. After only a few days, it was time for them to return to the West. The family traveled back to Washington, this time with a young Easton. Being raised as an only child, Easton was not used to a household with siblings. Luckily, with the help of his adorable siblings, the transition into the family went well. There were hurdles along the way, but none that they could not overcome. They managed to find balance and a common ground. Everything was going well for this little clan if not for the legal battle they had to face up ahead. Making adoption in a different state is a complicated process. Easton was from Michigan and Molly had to make the adoption in Washington. It was for this reason that Molly and Easton had to fly back and forth from the two states. They had to settle all the documents related to the kids' custody. Finally, after a year, a Michigan judge allowed the transfer of the case to Washington State. Molly and Tim were both relieved with this decision because it meant no more trips to Detroit, no more time of being away from each other. After the long ordeal, Tim and Molly received what seemed to be the best news of their lives. It was June 16, 2017. The long wait of the family at last came to an end. They were all ecstatic during that day. It was raining that day and Molly took it as a sign that her father was sharing their happiness. They were overjoyed and no amount of rain could take that away from them. The Schultz family only wish they won't go through the same plight ever again in their lives. What they thought was an easy process turned out to be a challenging one. They didn't even expect it to last for a year. Molly was aware Easton was too young to comprehend this matter. Molly recalled how shy and silent Easton was during the whole process. Even while they were awaiting the results, the family was living happily. They didn't have to wait for Easton to become officially a member of the family. Easton was very lucky to have these people in his life, especially during those challenging times. Molly believed all these events were destined to happen. She was mindful of these foreshadowing occurrences. These clues made her realize she would be strongly involved in Easton's life. The name Easton was actually given by Molly. She came up with this name when his parents asked her for name suggestions. Another sign is that Easton would refer to Molly as Mama. He never called her by her first name, even before the death of his real mother. Easton may have lost both his parents at such a young age, but Molly and Tim are there to somehow fill that void. They made sure Easton never felt alone or abandoned. His sisters also adore him and they have established a close relationship. Finally, Easton is now part of Molly's family. Currently, the family is living in a household filled with happiness, thanks to this new addition to their clan. Growing up with his siblings is a positive development in Easton's life. Molly and Tim couldn't be more thankful to have Easton in their lives. Easton now goes to school and is such a happy child. This story has such a sweet ending, do you agree? Please leave your thoughts down in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with our upcoming inspirational videos. See you next time!